Question 4. The curve with the equation y equals 2 times the natural log of 8 subtract x meets the line y equals x at the point x equals a. So first of all, we need to show that the solution a lies between 3 and 4. We then have our diagram of these two functions, and then it's asking us whether we can use that initial value x is 4 to approximate our solution using an iterative formula. When you're trying to solve two equations equal to each other, so we've got y equals 2 the natural log of 8 subtract x, and we've got y equals x. Now the way that we'd solve these simultaneously is put them equal to each other. So this would imply that x would be equal to 2 ln 8 subtract x, or the other way around. Now, to do the change of sign method, which is what we want to do to show that there's a valid solution in an interval, what we want to do is we want our equation to be equal to 0. So I'm going to take the x over, so I'll get 0 equals 2 the natural log of 8 minus x subtract x. So now what we can do is we can sub in our values in here and show that we have a change of sign and therefore a solution. So I'm going to call f of x. I'm going to define our function here. So I'm going to sub in these values 3 and 4 from our interval. So f of 3, start with that one. That will be 2 times the natural log of 8 subtract 3 minus 3. And we put that in the calculator, we get 0.22. Now do f of 4. So we get 2 lots of the natural log of 8 subtract 4, and that gives us negative 1.23. So crucially here, we have a change of sign. Now, because our equation that we created was equal to 0, if one of our values gives us positive, one of them gives us negative, somewhere in that interval it must cross. So therefore, a change of sign implies a root in the interval 4 and 3. And that's how we would show that one for 2 marks. So in part B, we need to determine whether the iteration formula they've given can be used with a starting value of 4. And they've shown us that on the graph. So the idea here is if we draw a line up from 4 to our curve, where we meet is actually the y value, is what you're kind of then putting back in. So if I go to this straight line, which is y equals x, and then if we go back from this straight line to the curve, and then back to the straight line, back to the curve, and you can see what it does, it creates this spiral that's spiraling inwards towards the solution. This is good if you're trying to use your formula to find a solution. So this means, yes, the iteration formula can be used. The cobweb diagram, that's what we call this, spirals inwards. That shows it's converging towards a solution to these two equations. And that's what we need to do for 4 marks on question 4.